What is up, everybody? Quick mic check. One sec. Alright, quick mic check. 1, 2, 3. What? Alright, mic check, mic check. Alright, mic check, mic check. Alright. What is up, y'all? Today we're going to be working on some website fixes for Need Free to Play. We're going to get back into the... what was it? Browser titles issue, which is kind of still a big thing for me that I want to fix. So we're going to get right into that. And... let's see. Guess we'll drag this over. So I already took my stash and, applied it to the current workstation. So basically, I think the page we were working on was, I have to look at the past video. Okay, news post detail, I guess. So this one right here. So we were trying to set up static site generation, which is basically just this get static props in the hopes that we can have Next.js, well, in the hopes that we can send the data we need for the browser title to the page before it renders initially. And I think the problem is we weren't sure what this was. I mean, I know this is fetch, which is a basic JavaScript thing. I think if we F12 it'll say, yep, I'm just a basic TypeScript, JavaScript, maybe node thing. But whether or not this is gonna work is a good question. So I watched the video a little bit, and I saw I was using this, which basically just says axios.get or axios.post if there are headers. So, So this says, once we have the response, check if it has any data, and then if it does, set the news post and make it not loading. This is fine for now because we're gonna console log it, figure out if it's the same data structure. I guess we can say, we can comment here. And then we should update the naming, obviously. Interesting, I'm not seeing the chat. Now I am. Cool. Yeah, so check. Oh, it was not. Okay. Well, it was we're good. So let's see what happens with this. I think we were seeing an issue. Let me just close all this stuff. I guess I don't want to do that. Let's just start a new terminal. Dev personal npm run dev Also, sorry, the microphone was not positioned correctly. Now it is. Okay, so no compilation issues. I think we have an error on the website. I'm just forgetting what it was. Okay, it's not this. This was like a dev project I worked at work. I think it's just taking forever for the browser to see that it's different. Good lord, this is taking a while. I am going to close these, it's just annoying. I'll reopen them later. Oh, port 3000 is in use. Oh, now I get it. Wait, okay. Netstat. Hey, yeah, let's just kill whatever's using 3000. Nothing's actually running anyway. I'll just restart it. I'd like to fix these 6 warnings at some point. Very easy to fix them, I think. Alright, so. Browser titles. We're talking about the news detail page, so let's go there. We're gonna see an error, I think. Failed to parse URL from because it's server side, I think it needs to be the whole thing. Yeah, I can't show this on screen, but I mean, I can show. Hold on. Yeah, it's next public website host. This is the one we want if we want to make like a full URL. I don't know if we can actually get environment variables here, but won't hurt to try. We can also see if this resolves to something. It should, because it has next public in front of it. But basically that should work, because it'll say, okay, localhost 3000 /API /get news posts. And we might be able to switch this out for axios.get. It's just the thing is we wouldn't be able to call send API request, because I think it's like a client side. Let's see. I don't know. It's like a helper. It might work. Let's just see what happens with this. Fetch failed. Uncaught. You're not giving me enough information. I'm on the back end though, so let's see. Localhost 3000, fetch failed. I would probably put like React, static site generation. Let's make sure this URL is correct. Let me just get this console, or sorry, const fetch URL and then await fetch URL, and then we can just console log that, see if that's correct. Okay, so yeah, that's no good because it doesn't have a protocol. So, if I had paid attention, this would have been a little bit better. I think we probably have a protocol. I think we can look at how we're using next public website host. And, yeah, get protocol is production. Yeah, okay. We can maybe log this. Yeah, so that would go first. Get protocol. Actually, I don't know if you can call client-side helpers in this situation. We can try it. HTTP. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm officially stupid. I didn't put the : / What you need. Okay. Okay, now it's trying to compile this. The response, we're getting a response. So we're logging the response, and then we're logging the news post. Let's see what the news post has. News post is an array of objects. It's an array of one object, probably. Yep. Okay, so I don't think that's gonna work then. Yeah, I think we do need to add checks here. If news post, I'll just make this news posts dot length is, I don't know, is equal to 1, then basically return success. News post 0, and then otherwise I don't know. You have to change this to news post, and then let's see. Okay, I don't think we need res now. We've added the check. And then, I don't know. I think we do need to return something here, or it doesn't. I can say return not found, maybe? I don't know. We'll see if that works. So let's see if it renders it correctly. Yeah, it does seem to be rendering it correctly, so we're doing the fetch, and then as soon as we get the data, then it's rendering the component, I think. So let's see, news post. Actually, yeah, what you were doing was fine. Yeah, this is... Good job, AI. Alright. Take a look at that console. Rendering news posts. Okay, so now we have a title, we have an object, when we refresh. See, you see how in this tab here, up here, like the tab title or whatever, basically when we refresh, we're not seeing anything different, and that's amazing, because I think that will mean that now, when this is like live, and someone shares this page, it's actually going to have like this text in it. And I think this is like completely unnecessary as a heading. This is the news post. Oh, really? As if I can't tell that from the URL or, you know, like what is in it. Also, I think this heading font sucks sometimes. But when you have a website, it's like you kind of want to keep it consistent. But also, if I were to have this as the actual title, then it would suck. So let me show you what that looks like. So what if we just said, let's use the actual brand heading font for our news post titles. Basically, it doesn't look good. I guess in some cases it does. Like, this looks okay. I don't know. With some letters it doesn't do a good job, but I think it's okay. I actually think that's better. For now, I'm just going to go with it. We're going to look at a few titles like that. And... news post title then. Okay, I have a to-do there, so I can come back to that. So... yeah, it's definitely good. So now we don't need this stuff, which is awesome. Yeah, that's a good point from the AI. It's like, we only use fetch here, so... I mean, I feel like we should just do axios.get if it... I don't know if it'll work the same way, though. Yeah, it doesn't work the same way. I think we'll just go with fetch. It's, like, fine. It works, so... let's see it work on other pages, too. Okay, so I think this has to be here. But let's check. Does it have to be? Or for dynamic SSG pages. Yep. Okay. So I think the better comment is... yeah, I think that's the better comment there. I would say dynamic routes. Kind of the same thing, but Yeah, this was a win. It's working for this page, so I think we can remove the console logs. We might have to re-add them for like other pages. Okay, so I think we want this like every single route. Not gonna lie. I mean, we don't. We don't, because we only need static site generation in places where the browser title is dependent on some data, like news pages, high score pages, high score player pages. Yeah, I think only when it's dependent on some kind of data. So let's see if this is. Looks like it's still being used in some places. Used for use post list item, which is cool. Now let's see how these other ones look. Yeah, see, like F's with this font, they just are lowercase and it looks bad. I think that's one of the reasons. I think we should maybe just change the font, because it's just very not great. I don't know. Let's look on font for like a fantasy font or something. MMO font. I like this one. This one's too like NES. This one's decent. This one's too NES. This one has the same problem as the current one where it's like uppercase letters don't work. I like this one. This one's like, I don't know, maybe not. I really like Vecna. I like Breathe Fire. Let's just go with Vecna. Okay, let's see if we can download this somewhere else. I don't want to have to like... Oh wait, I can just download it. Okay, cool. Okay. What are all these? I guess this works. Actually, I wouldn't be installing this on my computer. It's definitely not this one, though. Okay. Let's open up. Yeah, I think we just bring it over. Not that one. Get the file name. And then the current one we have is, I think, Vink. It's either Vink or Ceros. I don't even think I use Ceros anymore. Yeah, this is Vink. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Yeah, so let's find anywhere where we have Vink. Not this casing. Let's just replace this with, I don't know. What if we just download, what's it called? Vecna. And then we need a link to a file, so like this. Okay. So all we have to do is replace this, and basically, as far as I know, it's just gonna change all headings to Vecna. Could be wrong, we'll see. Okay, that's a way different heading. And I don't know if it works as well, because it's very, like, short. But if we go to news posts, might be a little bit too bold, too. It doesn't have the same problems, though. I wonder if I just didn't grab the right font file, though. Like, this one seems less bold and maybe better. Okay, that seems better to me, unless I'm just... Is it, though? Wait. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's leave both of them in there. No, it's just a bold change. It's still pretty, like, not very tall. Yeah, it does work better for titles, it's just that it's not very big. We could increase the font size, or we could try a different font. I like the font, though, so let's try just a bump in the font size, maybe. And I'm not seeing a huge difference here at all. It says it's 50. Computed. 50. I don't even know. 70 pixels? Yeah, like this needs to be like 70 pixels or something, I think. I don't know, this font is like pretty good. It's not like amazing. This one's really good too. I like this one a lot. I'm gonna try this one. Okay, let's try this one. Just give it a shot. We'll call it Vecna even though it's not, just so that we don't have to change everything every single time until we're sure we like it more, I guess. Or I don't know, I guess we don't have to be super lazy, we could just make a new font face. So it's breathe fire, and then we'll just say breathe fire goes here, and then we put this here. I guess this didn't really make a big difference, so we don't have to change that. Come back to, oh wow, that looks horrible. Do you see that W? Jesus, where is the space? Yeah, I didn't see that initially. Yeah, that W is pretty abysmal. It still looks pretty cool, but I don't know, let's bump it up to like 70 or something. Like, that's a pretty good heading. I like that. The zeros even kind of look like Greek, kind of. I don't know, I almost wonder if we should just have Mistral as the font for everything. Because that's in the heading. I wonder if we can change that without having to add a font. Mistral. Probably not. Yeah, looks pretty bad. Yeah, let's let's say welcome back to 2003. I mean, I don't know. It looks too, like, email-y to me. So no. We're gonna leave that for just the heading. Yeah, so this looks okay. The W is kind of weird. The numbers are pretty large compared to the rest of the text. I don't want to spend too much time on this font issue. This looks really good, but, you know, it's different text. Let's go back to Vecna. I think we're just going to settle on that. We'll just have to change some font family, I mean some font sizes. I think 50 pixels might be fine. You can try like 60 pixels. It's an H2, so it should be big across the board as part of our design system. Yeah, I like this. It's a small title, so it's like, it makes sense that it's kind of small. We go to something a little bit bigger, and it looks like this. And that's cool. Welcome back to 2003. That looks cool. Our spin on RSC. Yeah, I like this font. I think it works. I think it works for us. It's a little bit weird. but I think it works. Now it's encouraging me to make other updates to this page. Events. Nice. Yeah, I like this heading font. It's way better than Vink was. Let's be honest. Way better. Okay. That's not the main concern, though. Obviously, that's just like a total tangent thing that we kind of spun off into. Anyway, the big thing is we're going to need to copy this and use this in a few places. So let me think about where all we need, like, dynamic data for the heading. So, like, this heading is not based on any data, it's just the home page. The about page isn't based on any data. The news page itself isn't based on any data, it's just news. And then the sub pages we already fixed. And so that's good. Let me check the other ones. So it should be better now. Yep. Doesn't change when you refresh. Events is never going to be different, although this one doesn't even have a correct thing, so let's go ahead and fix that. Calendar. Oh yeah, this doesn't even have... Huh. Head. Yeah, event calendar. That's good enough. I think we need to say... Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to return this as a fragment because there's two different elements technically. Render head, event calendar. So when we call a render head, by the way, it always takes whatever you give it and then puts the default page title stuff after it. I don't know about this Nostalgia Reborn thing that was such like a launch quote. I don't know, is it really doing a lot? And then RuneScape Classic free to play, is that necessary? It's just like a lot of extra stuff. I don't know about this. Is this helping us? I don't know. I kind of want to remove it. Because that's like a lot of pipes. Let's do some reading on browser titles. Be right back, guys. I have to take a package. Okay, I'm back. I had to rush downstairs to take a package. I'm trying to figure out if my title is like bad SEO or if it's like unoptimal characters. Like, I don't know about these double colons. You see? I don't know about that. Let's see. Let's say slogan in page title. Wow. My bot's the spelling of that. Slogan in. Come on. Slogan. No. Slogan in. There we go. Slogan. Okay. I'm gonna remove it then. And we're just gonna have it be need free to play. Yes, so that fixes my issue with it not having a title, and then we'll keep going through the pages here. So we're on the event calendar. News, need free to play, makes sense. About. Okay, so then we have this one. So I must have forgotten a Nostalgia Reborn somewhere. I guess we'll say this is home then. Okay, how to play. Okay, so it's just high scores. When we go to ranged high scores, I don't remember if this affects... I think it doesn't. But it technically is part of the URL, so I think it should say like ranged high scores instead of just high scores. That'd be like the good thing to do. So let's take a look at that. High scores. Pages / high scores. Because the page is high scores, but the query string says ranged. So let's see. Okay, so I think we should have something that just passes the high score type. So like get static paths. Okay, we don't... Do we have to do fetching? We don't have to do fetching. We don't need this if condition. We won't need this. We don't need comments. We know what we're doing. So I think the query string is skill. So then we'll just say it's a skill that we're passing. Let's console load these params. See if we can get skill from them. And then, so high scores isn't a dynamic path, so I don't think we will need it. So let's comment that out. Okay, so now it should pass this as a parameter, and then up here we were just having a type. So, I'll just say high scores. I guess we can just say high scores props. Skill is gonna be a string, I think. Technically, I think it's this. Say skill, get that from high scores props. And then now we don't need to do router. Well, we still need router and query, funny enough, but we don't need the page in the browser title, so query. I think now we just like skill. Yeah, I think we replace query.skill with skill, except for when we're setting it. Let's see if that works. Curious if it will actually show up correctly. Skill. Error serializing skill. Undefined cannot be serialized as JSON. Okay, let's see where we went wrong. Params is undefined, it says. Huh. Oh, you know what? So params would be used if there was like a dynamic parameter in the route, like this. That's why we were able to say, okay, params.id. So I think I'm thinking like the wrong parameter. And now I don't know if you can actually do this. Well, hold on. So technically, the query parameter isn't like external data, so I don't know if we have to wait for that. But it might be like not a thing initially. Like the initial render might see that the query parameter isn't there yet, and then it renders again with the correct one. So let me think. Get static props. Get query parameter. I think it's gonna be the same. Oh wait, hold on. get static props generates the page at build time. There's no possible way to know the custom query parameters visitors can use at build time. So maybe we can try to get initial props. Let's see if we actually have a problem though with this. So undo like a lot of the stuff I just did. Do a console log here of query.skill. And we can go back and replace skill with query.skill. Change this to query.skill. I'm curious if query.skill actually like doesn't have the right value initially. That would make no sense to me, but yep, no, totally. Undefined. So I think we just need to use get initial props. But it says it's a legacy API and I'm supposed to use get server side props. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm just using the wrong syntax. Maybe instead of this I need to say .query. Let's add this back. Is this a thing or no? No. Well, this is an AI response, so it could be like incorrect. Query. Okay. Okay, so we can't use get static props. I remember now they're saying that. So get server side props. Okay. Use this as an example. I mean, technically we could just use this as an example and just change it to be not stupid. So like this, I'm like super complicating this, sorry guys. So this in like component syntax would be like work const. Maybe AI is gonna do it for me. Okay. Equals async. Yep, exactly. Copilot's way ahead of it. So I don't know if you can do this though. Obviously I can't do it like 3 times. Implicitly has an any type. Let's see if we can find some information about that. What did we use for this? Get static props. Let's see if we can just say that it's get server side props as a type. Doesn't exist there. What if we said this? And then that. Okay, now TypeScript is happy. This is actually pretty smart to check if it's... I don't know. Okay, let's just cut this stuff out. So now we still need the... to bring all this stuff back again. Okay. I guess this, we'll just make a note. This will be undefined on first render, so it's useless. And then just change all this back to skill. Let's see what it logs. Let's see if it renders. Okay, skill is overall from the get-go. So that's amazing because now we can just say skill, high scores, make this interpolated string, and then boom. We just have it in the browser title like that. Let's see, is it different for a second? Nope, it's never different, and that's amazing. We change pages, it changes with us. We share this page with somebody, it links to the player high scores, it shows the correct browser title. Amazing. Next, we want player high scores, to not say player high score and say the name of the player. That would make more sense. Let's do that next. We can remove this, we can remove this. We'll add a note here. Send the skill from the query string to the high scores page so it can be used in the browser title. So that's good. High scores slash player. So first we've got this one. So this one, it's in the URL. So I think it's gonna be the same thing. Maybe, maybe not. This new font is looking amazing. Let's start with get static paths. Actually, yes, that will work because it's a dynamic route. So let's just copy this stuff here. But this time we won't need to fetch anything, obviously. We don't need comments everywhere. We don't need to fetch anything. We don't need to fetch anything. We don't need ifs. So it's saying it might not have it. I'm gonna start renaming these. I feel like if it's a page component, it should be named with the word page, just my ideal kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know, if I do that, I have to do it like consistently across the board, and it's kind of like a waste of time, so I think in this case I'm gonna do it. It doesn't affect much, except you have to update the export. Okay, so now we don't need this, and we don't need this, and we don't need this. Everything else works the same. I feel like it should be this, loading. Huh. Yeah, I wonder if this is gonna work correctly. Should it be player name high scores? Or should it be like another pipe? Yep, that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna do... Okay, so my chief concern here is it's gonna say loading initially, so then basically that doesn't work because it's just gonna say loading when you share it, I think. I'm like 90% sure. So I think we should have whatever it needs to load, should have that be done in the get static props. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of an undertaking because we have this logic where it's like, okay, if it's loading, render something different on like a lot of pages. But it's mostly high scores and like news, and there aren't like a ton of data-driven pages. It's just a few. So basically, we don't want to do this because it ruins our whole plan for making browser titles in shares look good. Let's go ahead and grab this. This is kind of what we want to do. But down here. Okay, we don't need to do this. If not, account name. Well, there wouldn't ever be, so we can just not check. We'll need another fetch URL. Something like this. Probably gonna be a big bang. It's storming by me. Definitely gonna need to get the protocol, and then the website host, and then whatever we were doing before. I guess this. And then we had a body. What in the heck? Oh, it could be a string. It could be a string array. Interesting. I think we had as string before. I don't like using as. It's kind of like bad practice. We can just say array.isArray params dot account name dot, I guess it's 0. Otherwise params dot account name. Something like this. I guess we can say I don't know, it would make no sense if it was an array, so we can say unknown player, otherwise I think we're gonna have it twice. Something like that. So if there's params and it's an array, there's no account name. Otherwise, it's the account name. I don't know. Okay, it shouldn't be an array, though. Okay, now it's not gonna be an array. Cool. So now we'll do our just typical this. I think we can just copy this. Okay, maybe we can just use the same, logic. We don't need comments. How do we pass? How do we fetch? Oh, okay. I think that makes sense to me. method. Yeah, this makes sense. Post body. Does that work better? Oh. Okay, it's not as simple as that though. So once we have the response, here's what we want to do. Basically, we just want to do this. I don't know if we really need this catch. You can probably like redo it or something. So obviously we don't need this setter because we're basically just going to return it. I think we might have to do this though. I don't love using as. Wouldn't be an array. Don't need to set is loading. Don't need this. Log date. Response.data.find. Maybe it does need to be an array. Because it's doing a find on it. Okay, let's keep it as an array then. Let's say if for high scores. Pass high scores, I think. Response.data. I don't know why you do that when you could just pass this and then say data.find. But yeah, now it's like not super necessary as a method, so we could just say high scores dot find. Okay, and then we can say like last login equals empty for now, and then just last login equals never. Or I guess we could just say default is to never. And then say if there's the last login midlist, then Ooh, we gotta be careful because. Let me think. Because 0 is truthy for the JavaScript, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait, number 0 is considered falsy. Okay. So then if you do not, then that checks for 0 and it basically returns it. So this would not be true if it's 0. So then we would want 0 to be never. So this is good. Okay, so. Let's just do this. Yeah, we can do it inline. Okay, we don't need this. Same property name. Okay, so now we got account name. We've got this. Response.data. Keep it for now. So now we have to update this. So we've got account name, we've got that, and is this a string? It is a string, and then this is high score, player high score data row. Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking we won't need this eventually. Let's comment this out for now. And then we don't need this because we're returning it. Set high scores data. Okay, cool. See, we don't need high scores data unless we're setting it somewhere else. Which we aren't. So we're good there. So we can just say high score. Oh, okay, so then this should be high scores data, not high score, because it's actually an array. Now it should be a little bit better to cope with that. Okay, and then this user fact, I think we just don't need anymore because we're already fetching it. There's going to be an account name on first render. We're already setting the last login date. We don't need to set if it's loading or something. Let's comment this out and I think for this we're just gonna say... We could also say player high score. Like that. That works. I don't like having multiple pipes in a browser title. It's doable, but it just seems annoying. Technically, I think it might be better. Let me check. Okay, actually it's pretty common, so let's just use that. Player high scores. And we don't need unknown player because it's already going to default to that. Good there. Okay, so we still got some errors here. Send API request. Okay, get rid of that. Let's see what happens with this. Highscores.find is not a function. Okay, so we were assuming that this was an array. So what we might have to do is say as this. We could also say we could say response. And then if response const high scores is equal to response.data. I don't know how this is gonna work. The idea is if there's a response, then get the high scores. Let's just log this for now. Okay, this just makes more sense now, so let's see. Probably gonna need to check these logs. Response, missing username provided to get player high score. Okay. It's weird because I am passing the fetch body. Username Oscar. Huh. So we're hitting the API endpoint, but it's not like getting the username. Let's see. Direct. Okay. One more time. Okay, it is seeing rec.body. But it's not, huh. But then the username isn't working. Interesting. Rec.body has username Oscar. Oh, it's because it's expecting an object, not a JSON string. Which I initially tried to provide, and it didn't want to do it. Like, I tried to just provide this, and it didn't work. Stringifying the body ruins it. Because you can't pull it out of the object. I guess we could, what's the opposite of JSON.stringify? JSON.parse. We could do that. How many places are we calling this, though? Just this place? Okay. Don't log the whole request. It's annoying. I think it's gonna work now. I don't think it'll let. I don't think Prettier will let me do this, but it's fine. If they don't. Oh, they did. Okay, cool. So that should work. I'm thinking. Okay. I don't get why we're fetching every single user just to load this one user's data. Like, this makes no sense. So it requires a username to be provided to this API endpoint, but it doesn't do anything with it. That is interesting. That's some smelly code right there. There was probably a good reason for this, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, you know what? It's those dang ranks. These things. So in order to know what Oscar's rank in Prayer is, we need to compare him against every other player in the database. But now I'm thinking this should probably just be like a function that does that, not like the front end. Okay. Like just a function that returns all of his high scores. So like for player high scores, it just returns a table where it's like, okay, skill is overall, rank is 66, level is 390, XP is this. So I'm just gonna note this. It's like, we're doing too much here, kind of thing. Let me, where do I create new tickets? Here we go. So functions return data per, yeah, okay. Also, I'll note that it's an unnecessary amount of data to be requesting. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something I should look into. It's not what we're fixing today, so it's not really a big deal. But now we have, I think what we have what we want again, where it's like the browser title is just consistent. It's not changing. It's still correct. At least it seems to be correct. We could compare it against live. Yep, the data seems to be the same, and we do get last login dates. That's good. I'll probably want to ensure that we haven't like introduced a new bug or something. I don't know. We would need an account that hasn't logged in yet. I don't know who that would be. Okay, so if the player isn't found, it still shows ABC, which I guess is fine. makes sense. Okay. Okay, so everything's working well now. We can remove some of these console logs. And I think we don't need this now because we have it above. And also, we might not even need it like this. We can maybe have it like this and see if it bites. Because that's more, like, correct. You don't want to use as. It's kind of like overwrites whatever TypeScript's, you know, type checking is and just says, trust me, it's definitely this, even when it's not. Oops, hold on. I got rid of too much stuff. Yeah, this is looking good to me. Let me make sure it still works. Ranged high scores, prayer high scores, doesn't change. Surprising. I think it makes sense to keep the original spelling of their name. So in my case, I can go to Vahova, and it's actually like that. That looks sick. Okay, cool. Now we gotta do that basically for the next page, which would be like NPC high scores / player. So again, no loading without data. I want this. So where does this load the data then? Use NPCI scores. We have a hook. So yeah, this isn't what we want to do now. Now we want this to be like this. Music is goofy. Ignore that for now. Okay, so basically we need to do this. Whatever this is doing, we need to do that. So comment this out. Page. Okay, so first fetch the data. To do that, we'll use the same logic here. So it looks pretty simple. NPC high scores. No body. No body. So yeah, we can remove this. Let's go with some other music, guys. I don't know. What is this game? I forget. That Ace Detective game or whatever. Just the music is being weird today. So we're gonna go with something else. Music for streams. Electronic vibes. Whatever. This crap I always play. Hope it doesn't get copyright struck. Okay. Basically, we just want to fetch it. So, don't have this. And raw high scores. So we get a response. And we're going to say, set that as raw high scores. Ooh, are we using this multiple times though? We probably are. Yeah. Okay. So what we can do is we can say keep this logic. Maybe. But the logic to like load or set is loading and wouldn't have this. Okay, so we're never setting loading again for this. Basically. So I think we just want to return the raw high scores, and then let the use effect handle the rest. So then we don't want this. Also, I don't know if we want to return not found if something doesn't work. That seems bad. Better return to 500. Okay, throw new type error. That doesn't seem right. Okay. We do need to return the account name though. Maybe we can just do no if statement, because it's any anyway. And then say, like, we definitely need to return the account name. And then say raw high scores, if so, raw high scores as, yes, exactly. Otherwise, defined. Or we decide to be empty, I don't know. Past this. Guess we need this back. We just don't have a loading, I think. Or I guess we could have a loading state in this case. And the browser title just wouldn't need to show loading, I think. Yeah, what was it before? Let's keep that commented. Yeah, set as loading false, okay. So we can have this logic and get static props. I don't remember. Because I don't remember. Alright, yeah, there was a reason. I think it was because, like, another component. It was something to do with, like, this. Like, we need this to do something with raw high scores. And we can't call this from get static props. I think that's it. Although we could also make that like a function, like a utility function instead of a hook, because at this point it's just like a single block of code that's doing something. I don't know. Let's see. Where all is this used? Is it just used to get... No, it's used to get rank. Kill count. Okay, so this needs to be returned to the function or raw high scores. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. I think this is kind of overkill as a hook at this point. Let's see what this would look like as a utility function. I think it's like similar. Okay. Okay, so it's just a utility function. I think this is never undefined now because it's coming from get static props, and get static props doesn't send it as undefined. So, okay, now we have use state, which obviously doesn't work here. but I don't know if we need it. And then obviously we don't need use effect because it's already client side. Okay, so man, this logic is funky because it's like, if this is true, it's getting into this huge block of stuff where it does something, but then if it's not true, we just want to return raw high scores. So like, I think we want this higher. Just do regular decision tree here, else. This doesn't apply, and then this was supposed to be here, I would assume. So yeah, instead of setting it, let's just return it. Okay, I think this is how it's supposed to be. Also, we don't really need this to be an if then, so yeah. Seems to work well, I think. Well, we'll see. Okay, so now technically we could return this. So const all NPC high scores is equal to let's say this is output, and then const and okay. Let's see. Okay, so no, don't add missing declaration. I'm not exporting it. That would help. Okay, so we can't have this be returned from here instead of this, because this is needed by other things. So yeah, I think get rid of this. Feels like this logic is too complex for my brain today. I think we're getting it figured out though. We can also do this output as, yeah. And then we kind of take care of that. Now it's definitely going to be an array. Okay, so we're basically returning all NPCI scores from this. So now up here, we don't need this. This will be NPCI score data row. I don't think that type is changing. So we're gonna pull this in, and then we definitely don't need this. We don't need this, and I should remove it. Basically, we don't have this. Yeah, okay. I'm just explaining it. Get rid of this. And then, what's the error? Remove it. Fix this. Account name. And then say NPCI scores. And account name, that also needs to come from here. Yeah, we don't need this here. It's definitely not coming from there, although I think that means, wait a second. No, it's part of the dynamic route. So yeah, we can get it as part of static props. Yep, it will be provided to the component. Okay, problems. Oh, this doesn't matter anymore, really. I don't think we're keeping it, but for now it's technically used by another component. So we're just gonna have a to-do here that we're gonna delete anyway. Just so everything's happy. Okay, let's see if this loads. This is the player has scores, so that's not it. Let's see if this works. Okay. So it's Vahova and PCI scores need free to play. Makes sense. Does it change? It does not change. That's good. We can remove rec.body. Wherever we were like console logging it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna delete this basically. We're gonna find out where we're using this. Yeah, it's here. So we gotta not use it like that. So yeah, instead of this, we're gonna do, let's see, MPCI score type. It starts with 29. Okay. That's fine. NPC high score data row. So we have to import this. Problem is that conflicts with it. I don't think we need to return this actually, the component. Go back to whatever you had. Start with this. Just say, yep, we're done with this. This should probably be a const, I think. Otherwise, just like a random number. What does 29 mean? The logic for the NPCI scores on this website is like so gross. I think there was like so much reuse that could have happened, and it was just something that I had to get out. So yeah, there's not gonna be a spinner. Basically. So now we need to load data. I think we can just use similar logic to what we had here. There's no account name. I think it's the same endpoint because it was the same hook. And we don't need that. Okay, so I hearing? One second, guys. I'm just trying to figure out what the... I cut myself off. I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm hearing. One second. I'm back. The sound was just some truck outside, I guess. I don't think we need dynamic props, so I don't know. Do we get server side props then? We use get server side props because we need to access the query parameters. But here, do we have them? Oh, we do. Query.skill. Or query.npc. Aha. Okay. Go to high scores. High scores. Yep, so we start with rat, but we don't have like a query string. But the one when you switch, it goes to NPC 34. And specifically, 29 is level 2 rat. Okay. Yeah, so we want get server side props. I'm a bit hyper today, so I'm going to confirm that you guys can still hear me. Oh, it's super behind, ain't it? Or is it just my... Huh. Huh. No, you guys can hear me. Huh. No, you guys can hear me. Yeah, we're good. So let's just piggyback off this other one. They're like, okay, equals async. Okay, NPC ID is query.npc. So we passed it to use NPC high scores. I don't remember where we use it though. NPC high score type. Oh, we just use it to determine if it has an initial value. Okay. Sounds good. Sure. Sure. So then. Oh, it's an optional thing. Okay, so then remind me. If we look at the code for, what is it, T, account name. If we look at the code for this page, when it calls use NPC high scores, it didn't pass any parameters. Go to file, use NPC high scores. Okay, so it wasn't passing an NPC high score type. Which makes sense, because it was a player page. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to make sure of that. So basically, now we want to add that parameter. So we're going to say comma, basically like 29. But, okay, so first of all, this is the wrong page. Here, we want to say comma, 29, basically. Because that's what it was doing up above. It's basically just setting it in state like that, and it's saying, okay, immediately, before we even set it, just, you know, basically call this with 29, so, yeah, let's do, let's have, like, a const file somewhere, I forget, I think I have one. Data, no. I don't. I think we just have. Usually I have like a const folder. We could also just have it be like one file. Like to have different const files for each purpose seems a bit crazy. It's overkill. Let's try const yes. Okay, so to in NPC high scores. I would say to use when loading NPC high scores, lowercase h. Okay. Got that. Basically, we're doing the same logic to query it and fetch it, and but then query.npc, we do want to do that. I think if that doesn't have a value, then we use that. It's a little bit complicated though. If it's an array, then you don't want it. But let's say this, or not queried out NPC. So now we're gonna get a string. The problem is, oh man, what is it expecting? What are you doing, Copilot? Hold on. What is it expecting? NPC high score type. Okay, so I don't know if we can do this though. Yeah, here's where we're gonna get into type hell with this part of the website. I've really been going for 2 hours. Holy crap. This is a pretty long stream. So, I don't think I can say that this is an NPCI score type, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, that seems to have worked. Problem is, we're on NPC. I think we're gonna have to say this is NPCI score type as, but I don't know. Conversion of type string to this may be a mistake. Wait. This seems like it could be a useful utility, not just here. So I'm thinking about making this a util. And then putting it into high score utils. That's a global. And then, do we really need as? I guess so. And then I don't think we can overload this. Hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, how do we check if query.npc is something? Okay, we have complex logic here. Oh, does that not work? Oh boy. Okay. I don't want to break anything right now because this is a very, very difficult part of the website. Exactly. I think we want this logic. I don't know, guys. I think I need to stop the stream here. This is like too much for my brain right now. I think I need to come back to this and continue. And I'll just put a to-do here or something that says like... Okay. Yeah, we're gonna come back to this in a future thing. In a future stream. Yeah. It's just it's a bit too much for me right now. I will see you guys in the next development stream. There's one that's supposed to happen this Sunday, and I'm hoping I don't forget about it again. And I think I might not. So I hope to see you guys there. I might even stream more development like before that if I have a lot of time. So I will see you guys then. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye. I really need to add that outro slide.